It's Judy on the radio, building dreams and achieving more, telling it just like it is. Most of all, keeping it real. Are you ready for real talk? Changing lives and communities. Real talk. Saving all our families. Real talk. Bringing hope for you and me. Real talk. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio.
Well, good morning and welcome to the Real Talk with Judy show. I am Dr. Judy, your Real Talk host, right here on Hallelujah 95.3 FM. I'm also on Facebook Live and Instagram and YouTube at Real Talk with Judy Live Radio Show. So if you would, I would like for you to take a few minutes and go ahead. If you're on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, if you would go ahead and share and like, tag. I promise you, this is going to be a great show. I'm already excited about it. If you are on the radio or at your desk or wherever you are, if you'll be ever so kind to go ahead and call and text, email your friend, family, and friends and let them know that the Real Talk with Judy show is on the air, talking about real issues with real people, real conversation, and useful information, just keeping it real right here on the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. So hurry up because we're about to get the show started and we want them to be on in the beginning. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, I invite you to do so now at the Real Talk with Judy live radio show. And one thing I love about it, I've had people to tell me that they like to go back to the YouTube, they're taking notes, that they're able to save it on the YouTube. So if you would, go ahead, subscribe to it. It will do you good now and in the future. I want to say hello to my mama, Mother Dr. Irma Hunter Wesley, the reason I am who I am. Thank you, Mama, for being on. To my awesome and amazing husband, Superintendent Gerald Mandrell. He's the reason I get to do what I do. And to my amazing team who helps me deliver an award-winning show every Tuesday right here on Hallelujah 95.3 FM. I guess y'all can see I love saying that. Hallelujah 95.3 FM. I love this station. So I want to thank you all again for tuning in to the Real Talk with Judy show. To all of my guests, I see you, Carolyn and Tanya, and all of you, those of you who are joining by way of Facebook, YouTube, and the radio. Thank you so very much for being on. To all of the business partners whose name and business is being scrolled at the bottom of the page, I want to say thank you so very much for investing in this show with me. I personally invite those of you who have not invested to become an investing partner with me on the Real Talk with Judy show. Visit my website, www.realtalkwithjudy.com, for more information about the show. Today, I am so excited for this show. You all have seen the flyer. They have been interviewed everywhere. The city is on fire. It is blazing. This is one of the biggest happening, I believe, that has happened, I know, in Southside, but also for the city of Tallahassee. And that is the Soul of Southside Festival. And we're going to be celebrating and so excited about this weekend. I am going to bring on a young lady I have grown to admire so much, so full of wisdom and energy, always the same. And I consider her my sister girl, but I also consider her a real good friend. I want to bring on to you Mrs. Lady Christic Henry, who is the visionary of the Soul of Southside Festival. Miss Henry, come on in. I think you're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, Good morning. Good morning. How y'all doing? God bless y'all. Hey, Dr. Judy.
Christy, I am so excited and I know people are talking about this is the soul of Southside Festival is the buzzword in Tallahassee. On this side of the track and on this side of the track, it is really making a move. And I heard you say before, this is not just a move, this is a movement. And so we're glad, I am honored to have you here today with us.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, yeah, Dr. Judy, you and I both have been working in community for a very long time. You with your background in social work and working with families and children. And we know that there's a great deal of need, but there's also a great deal of love in the south side of Tallahassee. And so that's what this festival is really about. Sometimes we've got to balance the story. Sometimes we can't hear so much of one thing and we don't hear anything about the other thing, because at the end of the day, when you're trying to build strong communities, you have to build a strong cognitive awareness within the folk who live there of who they are. And this festival is our venture to make sure that children and teens and young people in Southside know who they are. They know who the legacy and what the legacy of this community is. But what's really exciting is about the legacy of this community doesn't just belong to the people who were born here. It belongs to people who have come here for school, come here for work, come here just for whatever purpose. And you become a part of this community when you come here and you engage and you begin to care and you begin to love. So that's what the Soul of Southside Festival is, a mechanism and a framework to move that message forward in and for Southside, but for our whole community as well.
And you are absolutely correct. We're going to get into that because I'm from Fort Lauderdale. So when I came here and I heard of Southside, we're going to talk about that. But Christy, you also have with you just a few of the team of the Soul of Southside Festival. Would you present the team as part of the team who have been working with you to bring this to fruition?
Absolutely. And this is definitely a part of the team. We have over 20 committee planning squad for this festival. You can't do something like this, with a couple of folk. And today we have with us none other, of course, than our own Darius Doc T. Baker, who is the programming director for Hallelujah 95.3 FM and Tallahassee's highest praise, and also Chief CEO of D-Real Productions and TNL and all sorts of other magnificent works on the performing arts realm here in our community. Hey, Doc, good morning.
Hey, how you doing, Christique? How you doing, Dr. Judy? Pleasure to be
here. Doing well, Doc. Thank you.
Absolutely. Right. And next up, Dr. Judy, we have just an extraordinary woman, Karen Gillespie, who has a history in banking in Tallahassee Southside. She was one of the first Black lenders here in Tallahassee. And she currently is a real estate advisor and consultant for Gillespie Home Advisors at Keller Williams with Keller Williams Realty. She's with us today as well.
Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Thank you for having us.
And she's Southside Proud. Y'all seeing her name? She's Southside Proud. And then... And finally, like I said, just a smidgen of her talent. We have Bianca Bilab, and she is amazing. We established at the get-go, we wanted a reach of 250,000, and we are already a tenth of the way there with her work as founder and director and digital marketing specialist of a creative station. She is a social media diva and knows how to push and pull the message and understands how to drive content. So we are so glad to have her on our Soul Outside Strategy team.
Hi.
Hello. I want to say to all of the Soul of Southside team who are here today, welcome to the Real Talk with Judy Live radio show. Thank you all so very much for being on. I am super excited about today's show. One of the things that my audience like to know a little bit about my guests. And and Christy, you gave us a little bit, but they like to hear my guests talk a little bit about themselves. So I would like each of you to take a few moments and tell my audience about you. Some of them know you, some of them have heard of you, and some of them will be their first time hearing and meeting you. Will you take a few minutes and tell us about you?
Well, I'd like to go first, if you don't mind, Christy.
Go ahead.
All right. I'm Karen Gillespie, and you all see I said I'm Southside proud, and I really am, because Christy talked about the love for Southside, and let me tell you why. Because I was born on the South Side at FAMU Hospital. I was raised on the South Side. My parents still live on the South Side. I was educated on the South Side. I was married on the South Side. And of course, I was churched on the South Side. So that's why I'm involved, because I know all the things that the South Side has afforded me and encouraged me and gotten me to where I am. And I'm so thankful. And I want to share what the South Side means. And this festival is our way of doing that. So that's a little bit about me and why I'm involved in this festival.
Great.
Well, I can go next.
Okay.
Hey, y'all. I'm Bianca Bilab. I came to Tallahassee to go to college on the South Side because I went to FAMU. And I grew on the South Side as well. Like, I started a business right after I got out of grad school, and at Domi Station, which is also kind of on the South Side. And now I'm excited to be working with the marketing department for the Soul Southside to just expand the knowledge to a larger audience and explore, the history of the Southside. I definitely didn't know a lot of things about what was happening, even though I went to school on the Southside. So I'm just excited to be a part of the team and excited to show everybody what we've been working on.
I love it. Doc D.
Hey, I'm Doc D. They know me as Darius, my government name. I'm blessed and honored to be a part of the Soul of Southside Festival, lending just some of the knowledge that I have in entertainment and performing arts. As you know, I'm the program director of Hallelujah 95.3, Tallahassee's highest praise, but also CEO of The Real Productions, founder and creator of Alpha Church Live, and of course, Tallahassee Nights Live, which is a 14, 16-year production platform here in our city that has launched the careers of several of our area talents. And I'm blessed to help local talent get to the next level, and we're going to encompass some of those talents. You're going to see some of those throughout this festival, as well as some amazing headline acts that I guess we will mention a little later on. We won't let that out quite yet.
Oh, wow. Thank you so very much. And Christy, let us hear a little bit about you as well before we dive into the show.
Well, anybody who does know me, and there's probably a whole lot who don't, knows that I am a transplanted Southside Tallahassee resident. I may not have been born here, but I really discovered my purpose here on the community level. I was blessed enough to work, at Bond Elementary School for 1,700 hours of my life, a whole year, with their AmeriCorps Tallahassee group at the time. And it transformed my perception of what it means to care for people other than yourself. And I think as a college student, that's an important thing to learn at a critical time. And so since then, I just have been really engaged in neighborhood advocacy. I married a local resident, Southside resident at the time. He was living on Southside, and he's opened up several ventures, one which stuck with me, which was real estate. So I am a real estate broker. And most importantly, recently, I have been serving as the Community Engagement and Integration Director for the South City Foundation, working alongside folks like Courtney Atkins and under the chairmanship of Senator Lorraine Osley and Representative Raymond Alexander. And South City Foundation is a part of the Purpose-Built Communities Network, which is a national framework for equity-driven revitalization within low invested communities or underinvested communities. So it's just been a great pleasure to be able to carry out the work and the mission of the organization in the planning of this inaugural festival.
Thank you so very much. And then you all have it part of the Soul of Southside team. And as you can see, there are some powerful people who are planning this event, this festival. It is not just a fly by night block party. It is a well put together, awesome event. And we want to thank you, Christy, and the whole team for putting this together. And to all of the audience, Valencia Scott says she's looking forward to the Soul of Southside. And we have others on here that are looking forward to it. We got Doris Strong. We got Angus. Of course, we have the UK audience who's always on here from the UK. A lot of people from Miami and Fort Lauderdale and West Palm Beach and Carolina. We have all of them on here. My baby sister, my boss, is on here. So we got everybody. My mom is on here, of course. She wants to see, and she's excited as well. Christy, as I listen to you, as we have talked so many times, and you have talked about this vision, you have talked about Southside. It seems like you eat and sleep Southside. And I'm from Fort Lauderdale. When I first came here, and I heard people talk about Southside, and when I went to Southside, and the back street of FAMU, that is the Southside right there when we have homecoming in our football events. But Christy, as I listened to you, I became more and more interested. And as I started just watching you and the beam in your eye, but I never knew. I came here in 1977. I never knew that the Southside has so much rich heritage until I met you. I really had never heard anyone else say anything. But Christy, what did you see as you looked and you saw Southside? What did you see to bring on such a vision as the soul? And let me say this, my brother is on here. That is my mentor extraordinary. But what did you see, Christy, when you looked at Southside?
I think when I came to Southside Tallahassee, I saw myself. I think when we're going through phases of life where we're developmental and we're trying to experience our purpose, it can look a certain way. And when I looked at Southside during that time of my life, I saw me. I saw tons of potential, but a lot of need. And that is what Southside is for me. And what happened is these folks that people said were poor, these folks that people said didn't have anything, they were the very folk that were looking out for me, taking care of me, giving me. I mean, I can't explain it in words what it meant to come to a community as a stranger and to basically become family. And I'm not saying that family don't have the disagreements or family don't have their shifting perspectives, but at the end of the day, you family. And that's what I've learned from Southside and Tallahassee in general. It's a community full of families. And when you come in and they get a sense that you care and they get a sense that you get it, they bring you in. It's the craziest thing, but the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And so that's what I see when I saw Southside for the first time. I saw a lot of need, but I saw such great potential, and I saw myself. I had a lot of needs, but I had great potential. And it was those older women and men and mentors in that community that helped cultivate my potential. They didn't see me as a threat. They didn't see me as some young person just trying to do something. They saw me as a person with potential that could add value to the community, and they cultivated that and gave me space and opportunity to exhibit. That's what Southside, that's the Southside I see. And as I tell people, don't ever underestimate a grateful soul, because a grateful soul will go on to do magnificent things in the right way. And so that's what I see when I see Southside. And that's the heart that I believe we all have in pulling together this event. And guess what? I'm not the only one that sees that side.
Yeah, and Miss Karen, you were born and raised, and your parents lived there. You got lending money and all this stuff. Tell us about some of Southside, because when I came, I know what Christy is saying, but Christy, I guess I just I guess my eyes just didn't open. That, and now I'm a proud Southside, because you told me, Christian was the one who told me that I lived in Southside, and I have been happy ever since. So, Ms. Karen, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, Christine talked about the potential that she saw, and I guess as a Southside born, and I was groomed. My potential was groomed by the people of the South Side. So I was looking at an article last night. I wanted to look up my old school, my elementary school, which is now called Pine View. But back in my day, back in the 60s, when I attended, it was Southwest. That's what it was called. And in the article, I saw my fourth grade teacher mentioned in this article that was written back in 1960, Mrs. Adderley. And I thought about the people, how they groomed our potential. They told us, they set an expectation for us little kids on the South Side, that they expected us to go and do great things. And so as I read that article and I saw Mrs. Adderley's name, I thought about how her sons, Cannonball Adderley, and Nat Adderley were international musicians, jazz musicians, and how she helped us, inspired us. She would talk about her sons and their travels and share with us. And so she made us know that we could do the same thing. So I thought about that, but that was on the South Side. And then, of course, I had to go and play the song that they wrote, Mercy, Mercy, last night. But anyway.
Mercy, Mercy.
Yep, Cannonball Adderley. But I thought about my first grade teacher on the South Side, how she told us all, well, she told me I was smart and I believed her, but I understood from when another classmate, she told him the same thing. So she was telling us all that, and we all, but she inspired us. And then I think about my mom and all the teachers at my middle school, NIMS, middle school, how they would bring us at night to do the study, bring us and eat. So, and then I think about the businesses on the South Side that gave me my first job. The Barringtons had a florist. I know how to make a boutonniere. I can't make nothing else, but I know how to make a boutonniere because that was my job, But all in the beauty salons that gave me a job to straighten up. And so they taught us and they groomed us. And so that's what's on the South Side. And so I think I want to make sure, and that's why I'm so proud and glad to know Christique, because she is helping us to retell the story. Because a lot of people have been telling a different story about the South Side, but this is the time. Her vision is opening up for us to tell the story about the value of the South Side.
Wow, that is awesome. Because as you was talking and you mentioned something, and Doc and Bianca, you all can jump in. She mentioned something about grooming. They groom your potential. They groom your potential in the South Side. And I have never heard that. That's going to be in my vocabulary from now on. But they groom your potential. What would you all say to that? They groom their potential in the South Side.
Oh, for sure. I went to FAMU, which is on the South Side. So the potential that I came in with as an 18-year-old coming to Tallahassee, like I knew nothing, didn't know much of life, and I grew up here. Like I'm now 30 years old, so like my potential has grown exponentially here in Tallahassee, especially on the South Side. Like I said, I've worked at Domi Station, which helped groom me to be a business owner. I've worked in Railroad Square to help put on events and things of that nature, which is all on the South Side. So the South Side has so many opportunities and so many places for you to flourish. So yeah, I agree.
Doc, what I mean, and Doc, I saw your son in here the other week, and you're doing so much. You're building up, and I never really would have thought that the people, and I don't know why, but that the people in the South Side groom their young people for potential. They groom them, they prepared them for potential. I just never thought about that. Now, what would you say about us grooming the younger one for potential?
I mean, I think we need to get back to that, you know, and just by being a part of this great team and the Solar South Side, finding out about some of the um, just historical figures on the South Side that are being honored. I didn't know that one had a very, I say, effect on my life coming up as far as summer programs. Miss Manning, I didn't, you know, I only knew of her with the CK Steele summer camps. I used to go to Walker Ford summer camps. You know, I used to be on the South Side. You know, most black kids summer camp time. You know, that's where we were. But Manning was just a phenomenal woman that demanded respect. But she was just so sweet, man, just so sweet. And I didn't know where she stayed. I didn't know she was a historical figure there on the South Side. I just knew that she was someone that affected me in a great way coming up, you know, throughout the summer. And I think we need to get back to that, where those type figures can, you know, it takes a village, right, to raise our kids, and that's how it used to be. You didn't, they weren't afraid to chastise with love other kids other than their own, you know, back then, and it was respected. Now you're kind of afraid to do that because you don't know if the parents gonna come at you, you know, different, or you know, you see a kid doing wrong, you scared to say something to him. It was not like that back then. You feared who was around because you knew that they were going to tell your mother and you would get in trouble with everybody. So I just love the soul of the South Side. I love what it's about. I love just the energy that's being created amongst everyone that's on this team and what's going to happen Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I think it's going to be a monumental thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I believe I've been looking at it, and I said, I know we had a lot of shooting and everything, but I believe that this Christic and team is going to change a whole lot in Southside because they're going to get to see the history. Maybe some of the people don't know the history, but a bus tour of Southside? What are we going to see? What are we going to see? What are we going to see, Christy? I saw the activity like a bus tour.
I know.
Someone mentioned it the other day, said, are we going on the bus tour? I said, what bus tour? They said, with the solar. I said, I don't get on the bus. I got a ticket for everything. I got a ticket for everything. I'm going to be there till midnight. I'm going to be there till the band go home. I am planning on being there. Yes. But what are we going to see? What is it to see in Southside?
I think that the bus tour is designed for you to see Southside through the eyes of people who love Southside. I think when you travel through a community, if you don't have the proper narrator, then you're not going to see the community in the way it needs to be seen. So it's ridiculous, right? This area that people go to and it doesn't have great, you know, a whole lot of great stuff, but it does have a lot of great stuff. And integrate and integrate the history and the stories and the love. And I mean, it's so much. I want to go on a tour because I want to just hear the history through the eyes and through the narration of those who are going to be on the tour, talking about the South Side and what it meant and where places are and what, you know, what key things you need to look at. And I mean, I believe that anybody that's going on that tour of Southside is going to see one thing, and that is rich legacy and ridiculous potential. And if you don't see it, you're just not paying attention. And so that's what the tour is. It's crazy, right? You know, tour Southside, but I think people are really anticipating because you have to get on a bus and see where you live. You can't really see it from your front door. You need to be able to walk, you know, to ride around and hear it from the vision of others. And so I'm really excited. That's a really important part of this whole venture, those tours through the community.
Ms. Karen, what do you say? Let me hear you tour guide us a little bit of what Southside from your eyes.
Well, I'm excited about this festival because it brings in the culture of the South Side. Because you know we're starting off with a fish fry. Now you know Friday night on the South Side we had to have a fish fry. So I'm excited about that. The tours are great, Christine, but I love that we're starting off with the fish fry. And
Miss Karen,
yes,
are we
ma'am.
gonna have mullet or brim? What fish are we having?
Christy,
It's mullet fish, hot
Oh, we
mullet
got to have
fish.
mullet.
Made by Boss Man Jones, Boss Man Ernest Jones. So you're gonna get fish fried from a real native.
and with the hot sauce.
With the hot sauce.
And mustard.
And mustard and ketchup.
Ketchup.
Yes, ma'am. All of it. Some people eat it with ketchup. We don't eat it with ketchup.
Oh, I like mayonnaise on mine.
Oh, wow.
Am I messing up the South Side? But Miss Karen, they got to come straight out. You got to have the white bread right there, right? You take it out the fish, you put it right there. Then it got to be a little bit of grease on your bread.
Got to be. You got to have a little bit.
I'm ready. Go ahead. I'm already in the Southside mode.
And then the other thing, I love about this festival, again, it's starting off with the kickoff. Christy, didn't you say we got a old deacon coming up to start the kicking off with?
We got a little bit better than a deacon. We got omega-4. And so we get the old mixed with the new. And he gonna take us back to the hymn lining days. He gonna take us back on the lining. Yes, baby. We gonna dig it on up. It's Emancipation Day. You have to dig it up. It's emancipation. So that is, and Doc can tell you some of the other folks that we got lined up in terms of the acts. But yes, we're gonna have that. We're gonna have Omega lining that hymn. It's gonna be fantastic. It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah. So what I love about it and the culture, what we'll see on the tour. I wish I could be on the tour too, but we'll be at but I'm just excited about the culture and the stories that will be told about the South Side. The other thing I'm excited about is that we have intergenerational, this is an intergenerational festival. And I'm looking at how Christique and the team has put together the stories of the icons and the people, our elders on the South Side. But in addition to that, we have some young folks too. We're doing the youth entrepreneur workshop. So it's just so diverse. And I love that this is the vision that God gave her. And to see that unfold in this festival, I'm just so excited.
Yeah, I was excited too to see the diversity of this festival. That it is for the old, that you did not, you can't really do the history without the older people, but you are really highlighting our elderly people. To see that, and I've watched the smile in some of them faces that have been pictured, and just it seems like there's a new hope being built or rebuilt. What do you say to that? It's like, I rolled through that other night and I'm like, wow, it's like you can feel it.
I think that what we have to realize is we're in a post-pandemic situation, right? So all of our elder neighbors aren't going to come out because they're still wary, they're still being very cautious. But the ones that have gotten their shots and have been vaccinated and are coming out, they're ready to tell you the history of the Allen subdivision. They're ready to tell you about Villa Mitchell and Stern Street. They're ready to tell you about Alberta Empire and Providence. They used to call Bloxham. They ready to tell you about Callan and the history of those neighborhoods, and Jay Gaither and Appalachian Ridge estates and South City. Those neighborhoods. They ready to tell you about what happened. And I think that's the important thing of what this festival has done is giving our elders a place of conversation with us, because I think sometimes our elders feel like they hold history more sacred than we do. And on the other side, I think the young folk have to be able to blend history with present opportunity in commerce. And so the message of history and freedom will get lost if we don't have the benefits of that freedom present in commerce and opportunity. And so that's what the hope and the soul of this effort is to blend them both and have this type of conversation about this is where our value is. So folks have been given a gateway. We've been getting so many stories, and I love it. People are sending us their stories about what their granddaddy and their grandmama did, what their mama and daddy did. We are so excited to be getting those stories because this is just a kickoff of this effort. This festival is a movement. It's just the kickoff of this, and we're going to be curating these stories, and Bianca is going to be pushing content out. We're in it for it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. And we just look forward to honoring the legacy and the history of our community in a way that befits it. So that's the excitement. It's the terror too, though, because if you don't do it right, have mercy.
but it looks like it's coming together so good. You know, when it's in due season, you know, like Jesus came in due time, in due season. I believe it's the season. Then, Bianca, you bring in the production of it, where you're bringing in the media. You have the Instagram, so you are taking it, putting it in language that everyone can. And I know that they got to take a lot of work, but you're putting it in the language where the elderly can get it, the middle age, the young, those who know technology, those who do not. What is your joy in doing this, Bianca? So as we look at what you're putting out, what do you want us to see when we see all of these different flyers and we hear these different stories, hear the music? Doc D, we coming back with you because you got every genre it is gonna be there this week. But Bianca, she so while she's coming back,
step away. But no, we have an awesome lineup of not only national talent but local talent. Man, we have some amazing local talent, and some of which comes from the South Side. You know, I think it's just important that we create platforms for our area artists to catapult to the next level. You know, doing gigs are fine. That's great. That is great. But we want to create a platform that actually elevates our artists to higher levels so they can reach back and grab the other artists and teach them as well. And it becomes a revolving cycle that we actually, you know, help elevate these artists. So that's what it's all about. And I think that this platform is a 5-star production. We're going to have the lighting. We're going to have the sound. X Sounds is doing that, as well as JLG is handling our backline. You will have I don't want to give everything away, but listen, it's gonna be a great production for our artists to perform on and to give their talents to the community. And then our headline acts, as far as all of them are headline acts, even our local artists are headline acts. But our national ones on Saturday, of course, we have the Hamiltons is coming down, and they were so excited. The first thing I did was tell them about the vision, and I explained Christic's vision to them about the Soul of Southside, and they immediately said, "Hey, we on board." And that was before we even talked business. So they were on board with that because they know the importance of bringing, you know, highlighting these areas in all cities. So they're on board. Glenn Jones, Adrian Crutchfield is coming from. He's a saxophonist. You're gonna get jazz, gospel, soul, R&B. You're gonna get a lot of genres of music because, hey, that's what the South Side is all about. It's just everyone coming together and having a great time. And we got some surprises that I just cannot say. I can't say until Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. You got to come out. So got some surprises, y'all.
Yeah, and when I thought about it, Doc, and I saw all the different genres of music, I said that is what make up the South Side. Even if you ride through now, you will hear the blues, you will hear them, you will hear reggae, you will hear gospel. I mean, it music does something to us.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I mean, and you mentioned gospel. I can't forget that being we're on a gospel station. We have Kevin Lemons and Howard Carlin, who has a brand new single out right now that's charting in Billboard. Explained the vision to him. He said, "Yeah, I said, are you coming by yourself? No, we're bringing the choir. We're coming." I said, "Oh my goodness!" So it's just going to be an amazing event. I encourage everyone who has tickets to come every day, Thursday to the kickoff, Friday and Saturday, and just enjoy. Just come out. It's a beautiful area, Lake Anita, and I'm just excited about the future of that area as well.
Yeah. Wow, this is awesome. Bianca, I know you went out a little bit, but come on and jump back in with us.
I know technology didn't want me to be great. Um, I heard my name and then I was like, goodbye. Um, but I heard you asking me like, what do I want people to get from the message that we're putting out? And the biggest thing is that community works together. Another thing is that we're gonna have fun this weekend. Like, we're about to have a blast. There's a fish fry, there's a choir, there's food trucks, there's local vendors, there's so many different things that are going to be happening through the 3 days. We got the Hamiltons, we got Royce Lovett, we got all of these people coming out to perform, and it's going to be fun, but it's also going to be so informative. And so you're going to get so much knowledge about the place that you're in that I think that combining with the commerce and the vendors and the music is just going to be a good, just a great experience. So that's the biggest thing that I want to get people to understand, is that you're going to have a great time this weekend. The biggest thing that I also want people to understand is that, you know, the South Side has such a great history that I didn't know, and that I'm uncovering working with all these South Side proud people on the team, and like our history department, who is like diving deep. Like, this is not any surface knowledge, right? This is going into the community, talking to the people who have been there for years, decades, and asking them about their experiences and asking them about the history of the South Side. I saw a glimpse of some of the video production that we're doing as well. And that just was like, these are real people with real stories. And that's the most important part. We're on Real Talk with Judy. So that's keep it real, right? So that's the biggest thing, is that we're highlighting greats in the community, and there's so many great people who came from the South Side. So that's what I want people to take from the messages that we put out, and just to come out and make sure you get your tickets, because if you don't, I mean,
I got mine, and I know the tickets are free, but if anybody need one, you can see me for a small fee. It's free on Eventbrite, but the scalpel or whatever you call it, because this is Mary Lewis. I hope I said her name correctly. She said, "Wow, I've learned new information from this live today." So we have people who's already listening, who's just learning things, listening to you all. And I hope all of the listeners are paying attention. Those of you who are viewing, and those of you, there is an excitement, there is a unity, there's a connectivity that's putting this together that is making this as powerful as it is.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and I think that you definitely hit it on the nail. There's a unity here, right? And unity is not without conflict. Okay, people think that unity is absent of conflict. Unity it's not without conflict, but unity is with a unified direction of purpose. And that's what I can definitely say. If there's never been an instance where we've been working together throughout different segments and sectors of being to focus and hone in on one thing, this Soul of Southside Festival is it. There are so many voices. Nicole Everett with Conversation with Nicole, Rachel Porter from Florida Historic Capital, Sharon Thornton, who used to work at the Challenger Center. She's been a realtor and an entrepreneur. Goodness gracious, Matt Bossler with Elder Care Services, Brandy Knight with Florida Department of Health. Daryl Jones even been kicking in with our Youth Entrepreneurship Expo. Courtney Atkins, our Executive Director. The list goes on. E. Marie Sissel with Somo Playhouse. Noble Sissel, who's a creative website director. Brittany, oh my goodness, Brittany over at FAMU. There are so many people working with this festival, and I say to anybody that's listening and looking, there is a fear of doing big things in communities of color, and that's because it takes resources to do big things, not just financial resources, but it takes thought leadership to do big things. And so we have been able, by the blessing of the Lord, to have just the right people working on this effort. And so if you haven't been able to work on it, but you want to financially invest, this is good soil to plant into. This movement is wonderful soil to plant into. If you're looking for a community-driven initiative to invest in the soul of Southside movement is one to do. We will still take contributions from anyone who's interested in donating. But this is a big festival. And even though we've been able to meet costs and meet demands, we want to make sure that we can not only cover, but we can exceed coverage so that we can make sure we have reserves in place to make sure we're planning in July for next year, because this is a movement. This is not just a party. And we look forward to doing subsequent events that lead up to the next year's festival throughout the year. So it's time, it's more than enough time for people who are interested to get on board and help us move this agenda forward. But I'm telling you, there is unity here. And that's what the truth does. The truth unifies. And that's what we are on the campaign to do, to put the truth out there about Southside Tallahassee and all communities of color in our community. Frenchtown, Macon, all of these historic African-American communities where there's love and nurture and history and legacy present. This ain't just about Southside. This is about the voice of communities like Southside throughout our county and throughout our state. And so come on, this table is open.
Yeah, and it has to start somewhere. So it started at Southside, and then it'll spread abroad. But Christy, where can they give financial contribution to? Because I was thinking, I saw Fantasia. I was watching Fantasia's baby shower, right? And so she had a little band from New Orleans playing the little music down by the gate. And so they was playing before you even got to the house and doing all that. You know how they play. And I thought about it this morning as I was preparing to come here. I said, wow, we could do this quarterly and keep that fire going until that next big event. And it would keep the people alive, because this is going to be fantastic to know that my neighborhood had all of this. It's like, wow, we don't just sit on the corner for naught. There was a purpose for that corner, right, Ms. Karen? It was grooming potential.
Right.
It was grooming potential.
That's right.
It was making things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Big things happen. And we can't be afraid of big things, because we have big potential. What's on this call right now is big potential. You have international potential sitting right here in front of you. You have an international music director. You have an international social media person. You have an international real estate consultant. We have international folks a part of this whole team. You got an international broadcaster on here. Listen, it's international down on here. And Southside, when we work together and we cooperatively hone our gifts together, we can make the dynamic, we can make big things happen for our community that funnels into value for our families. Because that's what the goal is. When you have regressive values in your community because people don't know their value, somebody has to do something. Yeah. We can't keep letting ourselves have low expectations for ourselves. We have to begin to say, there's high expectation here. There's high expectation here. There's high potential here. And it moves me to tears, because when you always are looking at what people are saying, reducing the value of an area, and its potential, that there is gold in them, their streets, but people are calling it mud. You've got to stand up and tell the truth. You've got to be able to know enough and believe enough to tell the truth. And that is what this is about. When we look at communities like South City and the poverty and the families and the things that aren't there, we can do something about that. We can work with people that care to do something about that. But the first step is for us to recognize our value and to own it and move forward together to cultivate it and to grow it.
And if you never would have stepped out, Christic, all of us never would have come together. Dot D and Bianca, Miss Karen, and all of the others, so many people who are working, who are behind the scene and in the scene, so many people who have put time and effort. It never would have manifested. So you stepped out, and now here we are, ready to come and do out and participate and learn what we have. And I think as Black and brown people, we got to hear that we're better than where we are. You know, we know the Harriet Tubmans and we know the Search on the Truth, but right in our own community, we got a Miss Karen. We got all of the Miss Leola. I mean, I think she passed, but we got that Crab Shack. You know, her sons are keeping that going. We got to hear the stories. I didn't know that. Did you say was it Bond? Oh no, Pine View.
Called Southwest.
Yeah, I didn't know that, and I didn't know NIMS have been around this long.
Yeah. And you talked about keeping this going, and this is a movement. And one of the things on our list is to have programming at Lake Anita, where we will have ongoing events at Lake Anita. And so I'm glad you said that. And one of the things that Christic has put together some action plans for us. And I'm just so excited. I'm happy about the party, but I'm just ready for the after party too. Because we're going to develop a sustainable platform for our neighborhood to start to grow the commerce. I tell you, my husband and I both are from Southside. Everything we did was on the South Side. We went to the dentist on the South Side. We went to our doctor on the South Side. We went to our local grocery store on the South Side. All the entertainment we needed was on the South Side. FAMU had the art. You know, everything was on the South Side. So seeing that come together again, putting together that platform of engagement. Also, how a site to do business. Doc talked about helping these artists grow their businesses, helping them to put together a business plan. You know, the art is great, but you got to know the business side of it too. I'm excited about that. I'm also excited about what Bianca is doing, helping us to understand the social media footprint. I mean, how we're reaching so many people. So the after party, I know we got the party, but I'm getting excited about the after party. And I want to, before we get off this call, I do want to give a shout out to the people who have invested in this festival, being South City Foundation #1. They put together a grant, and this grant was given to us, a $40,000 grant by CRA. We have the Office of Economic Vitality that's made contribution. Visit Tallahassee, FAMU Small Business Development Center, Florida Blue, E.W. Bryant, just a name. And I also want to give a shout out to our commissioner, Diane Williams-Cox. Thank you for your contribution, and I hope you are challenging the other commissioners to do the same. Also, our realtor friends, Hope Gaines, Othel Brozier. We have bankers that have contributed. Prime Meridian, you see all those billboards on the north side? Prime Meridian has donated those billboards and a contribution. Builders that have come together. So we're so fortunate that people are seeing the value and investing in the South Side. So we hope that all of you all will go online, and there's a donate button, and you can invest as well.
We're going to put that donation button online. Ms. Joan McLaughlin said she's a product of the Southwest School, and she said, then we used to have barbershop. And I remember when I first came to FAMU in 1977, they had the Miller's barbershop. I used to wear Jerry curl, and boy, we was lined up going to Curtis Miller's barbershop. And I told you got to do it like they did in South Florida. But it was just something. And Shingles Chicken, and
that's right.
All that. I remember walking down there today. It was a pride there. But I never knew it was such richness there, such heritage. Christy, I am super glad that you followed this vision, and then you pick. It's so many people who have joined in, because y'all, they're gonna know us. They're gonna know us. We have some great people who have come out of there. We're gonna get to know them, but you all are producing some more people. Some of these young men and these young girls, they're gonna take this stuff and learn how to do it. You know, I think I had a cousin who was a big time dope dealer, and my dad said, "Boy, turn that into a positive thing. You know how to get money. You know how to. You got a team. You got this. You got that. But he's instilled into him what he could take that and use. That's what I see coming out of here. I see that happen. I see, man. I just see so much. Christy, don't forget to put in the chat now, because we want them from the Real Talk with Judy show. We want people to donate. We want people to give. If you have not gotten your ticket, I don't know if it's any left. I got mine, and I got some to bring my families that I work with the family affairs. That's what they're getting. They're getting those tickets to come out there, because I want them to come. I have several of them who live on Southside. I want them to come out those doors and make their weekends right there at Lake Anita. And in that wonderful Lake Anita, one of the most powerful women in our city.
Yes, shout out to Anita Favors Thompson, Anita's Favors, excuse me, and Anita Favors Thompson Plaza, who's hosting our site. And we put it there strategically because it's a community site. We wanted it to be in Southside. Wow. And we definitely are grateful to the city of Tallahassee for all of their help. Shout out to Curtis Richardson and to Mayor Daley, who have been extreme supporters and, throwing all kind of great energy behind it. We are just so thankful to everyone that have. This is an inaugural festival, and the tickets are free, but next year they won't be. So we gotta kind of work this space. But Dr. Judy, we thank you for allowing us to utilize your platform to be able to get the message out. And like I said, this first year we're under limitations for COVID, so everybody won't get to be at the site this year, but it's going to be virtual broadcast online on our website and on our social media. So we want to try to be as inclusive as possible with the restrictions we're under. But next year, hopefully, we'll be all in the clear and everybody can come and enjoy, and it'll be open and inclusive and equitable in the way that we always wanted it to be. So we just thank the community. Don't feel bad if you went the first year. We're coming to get you for next year.
Well, they can join it virtually. We'll make sure that all of that information is there. I believe that what I want to accomplish today was that people will hear, people will be excited. And I know that all of us have different platforms, so all of us reach different people. And I just wanted to make sure that the people are excited, hear it from here and get excited. And I want you all to tell it. So once again, Lady Christic Henry, thank you so very much for moving with this. Miss Karen, Miss Bianca, and to the great producer. He's my producer as well, y'all. Doc D, I am where I am, and that man helped me, and he still have dreams. And let me say this, I appreciate him, and Christy too, and Bianca, I'm getting to know you, Miss Karen. But Christy and Doc D are some of the most unselfish, real, reach down to pull you up people in our city. And from me and all those others that you all have helped, I want to say thank you. Thank you, because y'all help us have great platform. And I know I am busting out the scene with stuff. So I want to say thank you all so very much. And Paula Johnson is on the line, on the chat, and y'all know Tallahassee got some good people. And Miss Karen, it's an honor to meet you. Yes. Bianca, it's an honor to meet you again, and we're gonna work. And so we're looking as we prepare to end. What any of y'all would like to say?
I think we all, Karen and I, just want to stress, we still are taking donations. Again, we're doing big things, and we have things we want to do post-event. We would love if you would take the time and make a contribution to the effort. The website is there, and if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
I would contribute to say, make sure you guys follow us on Facebook at SOS Fest TLH. Also follow us on Instagram. We will be going live for some of the events that you may not be able to make on our Facebook and on our Instagram. So be sure to follow those platforms so that you guys can stay updated with all the events and what's going on with Soul of Southside.
That is awesome. That is awesome. And I promise you, Real Talk with Judy gonna be out there with her phone. I promise you, her camera, she gonna be out there. And y'all know that she just pop up anywhere. Real Talk with Judy on the move. That's another platform designed with me by my producer, Dot D, and Miss Priscilla, John Louis. We'll greatly appreciate them. Again, thank you all so very much for your time, for your energy, for your excitement. Thank you, Danette. That is my production man. She said, awesome show, excellent information about Tallahassee Southside. So thank you all so very much. Listen, y'all can join me tonight for what I believe to be one of the greatest Bible teachers everywhere, and that Bible study tonight. What is your faith saying? Your faith got to be saying something. So your faith got to talk. And so tonight, my husband, Dr. Jeremy Drell, will be teaching us in Bible study 1 hour of power. Come on out and hear him tonight by way of Zoom. We're excited about that. And you can join me Sunday morning too at 11 a.m. right here on Facebook. And as I stated, just keep looking out, because you never know what Real Talk with Judy gonna show up, because she is on the move. And I look to see as many as you as possible this weekend. And if you don't have your ticket, you better get them if there's any left. And if there's not, just join virtual. All right. But again, Christy, Miss Karen, Miss Bianca, Dr. B, thank you all for another fantastic, great show. It's been a pleasure.
Oh.
Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy on the radio. Real talk with Judy. Real talk with Judy